Peppa Pig. Peppa meets Father Christmas. It was almost Christmas. Peppa was wrapped up in her warm winter clothes and on her way to playgroup. "I can't wait for Christmas Day," cried Peppa, as she and George jumped up and down in the snow. "Has everyone got their costumes for the Christmas play?" asked Madame Gazelle once everyone had arrived. Peppa and her friends all had parts to practice for the play. "Ho, ho, ho!" barked Danny Dog. Danny was Father Christmas. "I'm the Christmas fairy," said Peppa, dancing around proudly. "I'm the Christmas nurse," said Susie, in case anybody gets ill. The next day, Peppa, George, Mummy, and Daddy Pig went to the supermarket to do some Christmas shopping. "Daddy, look," whispered Peppa, pointing. "It's Father Christmas." "Why don't you go over and say hello?" said Daddy Pig. "Hello, Father Christmas," said Peppa shyly. "It's me, Peppa." "Hello, Peppa," Father Christmas replied. "Are you looking forward to Christmas?" "Ooh, yes," said Peppa. "We're doing a Christmas play at playgroup. I'm the Christmas fairy, and Danny is you." "How lovely," said Father Christmas. "I should be Father Christmas, really," said Peppa, "but Danny is good at ho-ho-hoing." "Ho, ho, ho," laughed Father Christmas. "Will you come to see our play?" asked Peppa. "Please." "I am rather busy," Father Christmas replied, "but I will do my best." At playgroup the next day, Peppa and her friends put up the Christmas tree. "I saw Father Christmas at the supermarket," cried Peppa. "He's coming to see our play." "I saw him at the garden center, and he didn't tell me that," said Rebecca Rabbit. "I saw Father Christmas in the shopping center," said Molly Mole. "How can he be in so many places?" "Father Christmas moves very quickly," said Danny Dog. "He gives presents to children all around the world in just one night." "On his magic sleigh," added Zoe Zebra, putting the last decoration on the tree. The next morning, Peppa saw Father Christmas at the Christmas tree shop. "Hello again, Father Christmas," cried Peppa. "Are you still coming to our play?" "Play?" asked Father Christmas. "Our Christmas play," said Peppa. "You haven't forgotten?" "Oh, yes, of course. I will do my best to come," replied Father Christmas. The day of the Christmas play arrived. "We can't start yet," whispered Peppa. "Father Christmas isn't here." "But your parents are waiting," whispered Madame Gazelle. "The show must go on." The snowflakes started the play with a song. "Snow, snow, it's what we like, snow by day and snow by night, and when it falls, it turns things white, snow, snow, snow." "I am the Christmas fairy," said Peppa, jumping on stage. "And I am Father Christmas," said Danny Dog, joining her. "Ho, ho, ho, woof!" "Ho, ho, ho, wonderful!" said a voice. It sounded just like Father Christmas, gasped the children. "You're here!" "You came to see our play after all," cried Peppa. "Of course I did, Peppa," said Father Christmas. "It's very good." "Do you really go all around the world in one night?" asked Wendy Wolf. "Yes," replied Father Christmas, "with my magic sleigh and reindeer." "Please, can we see your sleigh?" asked Pedro Pony. "I'm sure Father Christmas is a bit too busy to show us his sleigh," said Madame Gazelle. "It's true, I am very busy, but of course you can see my sleigh," said Father Christmas. "Come outside, everyone." Father Christmas led the children, their families, and Madame Gazelle outside. "Wow!" everyone gasped, seeing his golden sleigh sparkling in the snow. "It's beautiful!" cried Peppa. "What is it like to ride in?" "Hop in, and I'll show you," replied Father Christmas. "Woo!" cried the children, as Father Christmas flew them across the sky. "Ho, ho, ho!" laughed Father Christmas. "Happy Christmas, everyone!" "This is the best Christmas ever!" cheered Peppa. "Thank you, Father Christmas." Merry Christmas! The end. Thanks for reading with me. Please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and please enjoy our next Christmas story, Peppa's Christmas Post. Bye-bye. Peppa Pig, Peppa's Christmas Post. A piggy tale with real mail. It was nearly Christmas Eve, and Peppa and George were feeling very Christmassy. "Let's post our letters to Santa," said Peppa. "Yippee!" cheered George. Peppa, George, Mummy, and Daddy Pig put on their boots and headed out into the snow to the post box. On the way home from the post box, Daddy Pig did his Christmas dance. "Oh, it's a bit slippery," he cried, falling on his bottom with a bump. "Oh, Daddy Pig," said Mummy, holding out her hand to help him up. But then she slipped over too. Mummy and Daddy Pig were covered in snow. Dr. Brown Bear came to see if they were okay. "You're going to be fine," he said, "but you've both had a bit of a bump, so you must rest until Christmas Day." "Oh no," sighed Daddy Pig. Everybody went to stay at Granny and Grandpa Pig's house, so Mummy and Daddy Pig could stay in bed. "I know how we can cheer up Mummy and Daddy," Peppa whispered to George. "Let's get everything ready for Christmas ourselves." So, with a little help from Granny and Grandpa Pig, Peppa and George started making Christmas cards and advent calendars for everyone they knew. After Peppa and George posted everything they had made, it was time to make the Christmas pudding. "Mummy and Daddy will love this," said Peppa, stirring the sticky mixture. "That looks perfect, little ones," said Granny Pig. "Let's steam it, and then I have something to show you." Granny Pig found an envelope in a drawer and passed it to Peppa and George. "Take a look inside," she said. "Ooh," said Peppa. "Thank you, Granny." Inside the envelope was a little book of festive treats. Peppa and George made all of the recipes in it, and a lot of mess. Something smells delicious," said Grandpa Pig, his tummy rumbling. "They're not for now, Grandpa," explained Peppa. "They're for Christmas Day." "I see," replied Grandpa Pig. "Well then, I can't wait for Christmas Day." "What's in that great big box, Grandpa?" asked Peppa. "Christmas decorations," said Grandpa Pig. "Hooray! Let's decorate the Christmas tree," cheered Peppa. Peppa and George covered the whole house with Grandpa Pig's decorations. "Mummy and Daddy are going to be very surprised when they come downstairs on Christmas Day," cried Peppa. Then she and George sat down with Granny Pig. They wanted to write an extra special letter to Santa. Peppa, George, Granny, and Grandpa Pig put on their boots and headed out into the snow to post their special letter. "I hope Santa gets it in time," said Peppa, lifting George up so he could post the letter. "I'm sure he will, Peppa," said Grandpa Pig. "Come on, let's head back home." That night, at the North Pole, Santa Claus received Peppa and George's special letter. "Ho, ho, ho," he laughed. "Christmas stickers! How lovely!" Then he got out his pen and paper and wrote an extra special reply. The next morning was Christmas Eve, and there was a letter waiting for Peppa and George by the front door. "Someone's written us a letter, George," said Peppa, jumping up and down. "Santa!" cheered George. "Don't be silly, George," replied Peppa. "Santa doesn't write letters. He's too busy making toys." Dear Peppa and George Pig, thank you so much for your letter and wonderful present. I have put your Christmas stickers all over my grotto. Of course, I can deliver presents for your Mummy and Daddy. Make sure you go to bed nice and early on Christmas Eve, and there will be an extra special surprise for you both on Christmas Day. Love from Santa Claus. At bedtime on Christmas Eve, Peppa and George were soon tucked up in their little bed at Granny and Grandpa's house. "We have to go to sleep early like Santa said in his letter," whispered Peppa. "I wonder what his surprise will be." "Santa," whispered George as he closed his eyes. Soon they were both fast asleep. "Mummy, Daddy," cheered Peppa and George very early the next morning. "It's Christmas Day." "Huh? Who? What?" mumbled Daddy Pig, waking up. It's Christmas Day, repeated Peppa. Dr. Brown Bear said you can get out of bed now. We have lots of surprises for you. But there was a surprise waiting for everyone in the living room. Santa! Cried Peppa and George. Santa! Cried Daddy Pig, doing his special Christmas dance very carefully this time, and managing not to fall over. Surprise! Said Santa. I thought I'd pop in and see two little piggies who have been very helpful this Christmas. Peppa and George. Hooray! Cheered Peppa and George. Santa gave presents to Mummy and Daddy Pig and to Granny and Grandpa Pig. Then he turned to Peppa and George and gave them the doll and the racing car they had asked for. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas! He chuckled as he waved goodbye. Now remember to write your thank you letters. I love getting post. That night, Peppa and George were back at home and tucked up in their own beds. I love getting post too, Santa, whispered Peppa, looking at his letter on her bedroom wall. Especially from you. The end. Thanks for reading with me. Please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And please enjoy our next Christmas story, Peppa's Christmas Wish. Bye-bye.